Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still speechless. Truly, honestly, I'm still speechless. And I'm bummed. I'm sad because on January 19th, 2025, the 2024 Baltimore Ravens season is dead. And it was a heartbreaker. It started with heartbreak. It ended with heartbreak. And there's not much more I could say about it. I appreciate you guys for being here every single step of the way. On today's episode, we're going to break down the AFC playoff divisional round loss to the Buffalo Bills on the road. But before anything else, make sure you guys keep hitting that subscribe button. We've been growing all season long. The best part about it is we don't just cover you. We don't just cover this team in the regular season, in the playoffs. We cover them for the entirety of the offseason. So join us for the rest of our offseason coverage by hitting that sub button, making that number go up, and making me the happiest man in the world by just growing this community. I appreciate you guys. So here was the final score, 25-27. Those are the final numbers. Lamar still had a pretty solid day, 254 yards passing, 18 for 25, 2 touchdowns. Solid day for the positive numbers, but it's when you look at the negative ones, right? The one interception, the one fumble. And I said it going into this game. I've said it going into every single one of their last few games, right? Their final game against the Steelers, the final game against the Browns, the playoff game against the Steelers, the playoff game against Buffalo. Every single one of those games, right? You walk in there and you say, you know what? You are going to win this game if you win the turnover battle. Or on the flip side, you can't turn the ball over time and time again and expect to still win this game. And that's exactly what happened tonight, right? Lamar, costly pick early. Mark Andrews, costly fumble late. Lamar, costly fumble before the second half. And that's it. That's the game, okay? And that's the frustrating thing, guys, is you have a chance still at the end of the game on the road to the number 2 seed. You got a chance to put that game into overtime and you losing the turnover battle 3-0 and you still got a chance to win the football game. The better team didn't lose today. And I know I sound like a homer. I know I sound like just a Ravens fan on a platform. I know I sound like all those things, but guys, that's just truly how I feel. You lost the turnover battle 3-0 and still almost put it in overtime. Was a Mark Andrews drop away from possibly going into overtime. Just heartbreaking, man. You outplayed them, I think, in every facet. You had more total yards. You were better on third down. You had more first downs. You did have more penalties. Time of possession was around the same, not any huge discrepancy there. But it came down to your star quarterback making bad decisions and turning the ball over. Okay? Lamar, I love you. I do. And I don't want to hear any Lamar needs to be off this team. This team needs to move on for Lamar. Lamar can never win a Super Bowl conversation. I don't want to hear any of that because I still have all the belief in the world that this guy right here will win a Super Bowl one day. But he's got to be smarter with the football, man. He's got to be smarter with the football. That first interception was inexcusable. That fumble was inexcusable as well. It was just head scratcher after head scratcher from the guy who I know we all believe we wouldn't be in this position if it weren't him, right? We wouldn't have been in that game if it weren't him. He had an amazing touchdown pass to Bateman. He had an amazing touchdown pass to Isaiah Likely. He was great. But he also put this team behind the 8 ball a couple of times tonight, okay? So grade the play of Lamar Jackson against the Bills. A, B, C, D, or F, okay? I am probably somewhere around a C, okay? But you let me know in the chat down below. And I think we got to talk about Mark Andrews next, okay? We'll get to Derrick Henry in just a little bit, but I got to talk about Mark Andrews. It's such a bummer. And it's so sad because he has meant more to this franchise than like almost any other player ever. He leads this franchise in touchdowns, right? He's technically, if you look at the history books, he's on that Mount Rushmore with Ray Lewis, with Ed Reed. Mark Andrews is right there, guys. But also, I think it's safe to say he's the reason you lost this game tonight. The Lamar turnovers didn't help, but one of the Lamar turnovers was right after a Mark Andrews drop, which would have been a first down. And then he had the bad fumble after getting the first down when you're down 24-19. You have a drive that could end in a touchdown to give you the lead, and he fumbles it. Just poked out. And then the drop at the end on the 2-point conversion. It's a perfect pass by Lamar. Sure, maybe it was a touch late, but at the end of the day, it was a drop. And I feel sick for him because I really do like Mark Andrews. I really do. And he's had an up and down season, but he ended the season phenomenally. So I feel sick for the guy. He's meant so much for this franchise. But also, like, dude, you're getting paid a lot of money to catch the football, and you didn't do that tonight. You dropped it 2 crucial times. You also coughed it up late. We got more to talk about. I hope you guys still hang around. But before we get into any of that, I got to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is our friends over at Game Time. It's the only ticketing app that I have in my phone. I think it's the only ticketing app you should have in your phone as well. And guys, there's nothing that can quite compare to the rush and excitement you feel watching your team in a playoff game, either at home or on the road. And if you want to have that memory for the rest of your life, that's where Game Time can help out. Game Time has an awesome new feature. It's called Game Time Picks, and that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which are the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. And guys, if you guys want to check out the Baltimore Ravens next season, I can promise you those tickets will be available on Game Time. So just head over to Game Time. You can use the code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. And I think what stings the most about this, guys, this loss is like they came into it. I came into it feeling really good about this team. And at the end of the day, I still think this was the better team. I still think you should have won this game. Again, you were a 2-point conversion away from going into overtime when you were down in the turnover battle 3-0. But that's a massive part of football, guys. That is a massive part of football. And it's frustrating because you can't blame this on coaches, right? You can't. I thought this was a great coach game. Maybe you can look at Todd Monken and say, hey, why didn't you give Derrick Henry the ball more when you had first and goal from the 3? Sure, you could say that. But from the other side of it, like on the other flip side of it, like I thought Zach Orr in the second half coached a great game. I thought John Harbaugh coached a great game. I don't think this anyway was on John Harbaugh, right? I don't think this anyway was on any of the coaches. And I think the players wanted it, right? There was no doubt and there was no lack and there was no question in my mind they had the want to, right? There was no question in my mind they thought this was the year. I thought this was the year. They just made mistakes. They just made too many mistakes. And now I'm going to be able to, next playoff time, add to the logo I always show you guys of turnovers in the playoffs. And Colin, we actually have that in a List 5 logo. It's on the bottom, like under all the watch party listicles. And I'm going to pull it up here because we've been showing it all week. Of turnovers in the playoff losses, and how many turnovers were in each of those games. And unfortunately, this has just been the story of the Baltimore Ravens. There we go. Thank you. List 4, sorry. This has just been the story of the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs, okay? Last year, the loss to Kansas City. Oh, excuse me, that's penalties. Maybe I didn't move it over. Anyway, you turn the ball over a lot in the playoffs. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay? And it's no different tonight. It was no different tonight. Okay? You turned it over a ton. You had a good amount of penalties as well. And that's going to be the story of this game for the next 7 months before the next season starts. I'm going to be here for it. I'm going to be here all the way through the middle of it. I'm so excited, so blessed to have been on this journey with you guys for the entirety of the season. This is my first season with Chat Sports. I'm so thankful for everything that these last couple months have been. But I'd be lying to you if I told you this wasn't a heartbreaker. I'd be lying to you if I told you I don't think I'd be lying to you if I told you that Baltimore wasn't the better team tonight. Because they were. They just made more mistakes. I'll be back with a video tomorrow. Video the day after that. Video the day after that. You guys know the drill. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join us for more off-season coverage coming up. Draft coverage, trades, signings, all that good stuff over the next 7 months. And then, hey, the quest for the next Super Bowl starts again in August.